Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I have an amazing show lined up for you today. It is by far the longest episode that I've recorded to date. However, it is full of wisdom that are teeming with juicy gems for you to add into your practice and ideas to explore and research. So I highly suggest, if you are needing to do some household cleaning, if you're needing to do some spiritual preparation before a ritual, if you need to do a workout or a more active yoga session, then I highly suggest doing that. I highly suggest grabbing some snacks, your witch's brew, and getting cozy, because we are about to dive in and get a little witchy. Just a small disclaimer before we dive in here. I do touch on a trigger warning area within eating disorders and health and weight issues. So if that's something that triggers you, definitely just skip this and come back if you feel that you are able to handle that. If not, no pressure, and there's always going to be another episode here for you that don't touch on things that may trigger you, as well as we dive into a little bit of medical astrology within the sphere of Cassandra's workings, and she does work with the medical things. So we do touch on a little bit about medicine within the astrology chart, and I definitely want to make it very clear that I definitely don't want anyone to be going off their meds or saying that you don't need your medication. I think you should do you, and whatever works for you works. However, this is her experience and what works for her. But I always suggest for my listeners that you listen to your practitioners and use metaphysical resources alongside the modern day medical resources. So with all that said, I hope you guys enjoy the show, and let's dive in. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. It's Rhiannon. If you are new here, I am a witch and pagan, and we talk about magical things here on this podcast. Today I have a very special guest. They are a medium who specializes in working with energy within the health and healing axis of the birth chart. And I'm very excited to start diving into things. We're going to talk about spirituality and channeling and crystals and all this stuff. So if you'd like to introduce yourself to the listeners, you can go right ahead there, Cassandra.
Thanks, Rhiannon. Thank you. Well, welcome everybody, and I'm really glad to be here with you. And this is my first time doing a podcast or YouTube, and I do not have anything scripted because I just channel information at the time that I need it. So here we are. Well, oh boy, where do I start? I recently opened a business called Lunar Creations. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. It's Lunar Creations Lewiston.com is my website. And I am a certified metaphysician, and I fell into it basically because in 2012 I had a health crisis and I started breaking bones. I was at the top of my game, in great shape. I taught aerobics for 17 years. I was a dental assistant. I was a professor at college, had 3 kids. You know, everything was really great. And all of a sudden I started breaking bones. I broke my right hip. And then right after I broke my hip and had emergency surgery, got off my crutches. 3 days later, my right foot broke, had surgery, got off crutches. A week later, my left foot broke. And that went on for 2 years. I just kept breaking bones, and it was completely undiagnosed. I, took every test there was. We traveled everywhere trying to figure it out, and all the doctors, they said, we don't know what's going on. Your calcium levels show that, it's excellent. Everything shows it's excellent. You work out, you're in good health. We don't understand this. So I had to fight my way back to health. And oh my God, it was horrible, because when I went down, my family went down, 3 kids, a full-time mom working, my husband working, and then all of a sudden, all these medical bills. And then, I'm not feeling good. I can't, get up and function or do anything. So then, I went into depression for 5 years, and then they started putting me on all of this medicine. And oh my God, in fact, the doctor, the doctor kicked me out because I said, I'm not taking this. This is not working for me. This is making things worse. I became a vegetable. I couldn't remember anything. I couldn't think of anything. I couldn't even drive my car without getting in an accident. So, I just laid there in bed. I got off all of my medication and I laid there in bed in depression, just, trying to figure out, what to do next. And, I asked myself, what do you really, really, really want? And I heard, I want to read a book. And it all took off from there. So, I started reading a book, and then I tapped into meditation with Oprah and Deepak Chopra. Oh, man, do you know who Deepak Chopra is?
Yes, he got me into meditation.
Yeah, he's fantastic, and they have a wonderful app too. But that took me down a whole new path, with affirmations, and then I started tapping into the moon. I read this book about, making a wish out on your birthday, and I was like, what do I have to lose? I have my crutches, my cast on, and everything. And I said, honey, I read this book about making, a wish under the moon on your birthday, and I'm gonna do it. So I did. And I wrote out 10 things, and every single thing came true. Everything on that list. I wished to find a doctor that could help me because I had gotten, I can't even tell you how many doctors I went through. And I had put on 80 pounds. I was almost 200 pounds. And, from the depression and the medicine. And I was at my lowest point. I finally found a doctor to help me. Everything just turned around, and so I started following, the moon, right? And then I was like, hey, this works. This works. So then I tell my husband, I'm like, guess what? This works. Like, huh, right? So then I tell my friends, and they're like, well, we want to do. I'm like, all right, well, let's get together and do some moon wishing. And so then one of my friends got $10,000, another one got $12,000, and the other couple, they just had, simple, little easy wishes, but something that made a difference in their life, and it worked. So then I just kept going, and I kept helping people, and kept going with school. And so the more I got into that, it led me into astrology. And man, did that open up a doorway, right? So then I started taking all of these little courses and get certified in these little courses. And and I did get certified in the moon. I am a certified moonologer. And then I got oh my God, just with the pig in the background. Sorry. Okay. And so then in astrology, then I got certified in modern astrology. Oh man, this is so great. I gotta go deeper. I gotta know more. So then I went into Vedic astrology, and oh my God, this is so great. This is so great. I gotta know more. So then I went into medical astrology. Oh man, did that answer so many questions for me? So many questions. And then after that, it was like, I gotta know more. So then Hellenistic astrology came along, and Hellenistic astrology follows astrology as close as possible from the beginning of time. And so I started taking that, and now I'm going on 3 years in that. And then in the meantime, with astrology and moonology going on, I also got involved in crystals. And so actually now I have been doing crystals for 7 years. I like, whoa, because I tend to take these courses and I just let my certifications stack up, right? Because I'm like, that's not enough. I want to know more. I want to know more. And, I've lost track how many crystal certifications I have, but I'm just finishing up Lightwalker 3. I've done 1, 2, and 3. And what that is basically is, it's crystal mediumship done through shamanism. It's absolutely incredible. So we have learned how to access like your Lemurian blueprints, and the Atlanteans, energy clearings. I can do crystal Reiki, very easily. I love doing that. And oh my gosh, working with the ancestors. In fact, I'm going to be doing something very, very soon here for working with the ancestors. I started with them about a year ago, doing altars and, the crystals and making my own essential oils and everything. And that opened up a whole new world for me. And working with the angels. Oh my gosh, I'm certified with the angels. I work with the angels every day. I wake up in the morning and I say, thank you, angels, for your gifts today. I am grateful. And, I watch and I wait and see what messages come to me, what gifts, come to me. Because if you're, going to be calling out, for information and things, you need to be paying attention to, when that's happening and know to take action on it, and, I have gotten the angels are amazing. I mean, I've gotten so good at it now that I will say directly in front of my husband when I need something to the angels, and he can't believe it. And they will actually take over my body and lead me to where I need to go. I could not find my pen for nothing the other day. And so, I kept asking my husband, I'm like, I can't find my pen. I can't find my pen. I have this special writing pen that, has the diamond, on top of it, diamond and glitter. You gotta make it fun, right?
Absolutely.
And I was like so frustrated. And I said, Angel, please help me find my diamond pin. And all of a sudden, I turned around, I grabbed the basket, and I pulled it out, and I was like, here it is. And I go, oh. And my husband was like, oh my God. I go, yes, please just help me find it, And you can do that. You can say, Angel, show me, where something is. Show me, point my finger, and take your finger, and it will lead you to wherever you want to go. I mean, so, working with energy is a very real thing. And the more I've done it, the more I've found that, it's a necessity. Like every day we need to be tapping into that. Every day we need to be figuring out, what is our energy and what is not our energy. Because when we tap into it, oh, thank heavens, it can, our anxiety, right? You're a Gemini, I'm a Gemini. Oh, our anxiety is sort of rough, right? And it's part of, we're ruled by Mercury, and this is where we go into, the medical astrology part, because Mercury rules the nervous system. And if you've got, I think you were born where you're like, here's your sun, and then here's your Mercury, and they're close together. When your sun and Mercury are close together in the birth chart, it's called combust. You're combust. So, at times you're like, hey, I'm feeling good. I'm perfectly normal functioning. And other times you're like, wow, my hair's standing on end and I can't function.
Yeah, I definitely relate to that.
Yeah. And so, that anxiety, and that's your nervous system. And, like coffee, I made sure before I came on here, I did not drink coffee, man, because when you're ruled by Mercury, coffee will shit you through the roof, So again, that's, energy. And so all of that is really important to know. And so, getting into, the birth chart, I did not get into astrology to, be able to, make predictions or trace it, step by step. It was so I know what the planets are doing, what they're doing to me, how they're affecting me, that as above, so below is so hard to wrap your head around until you start following the moon cycles, and you're like, wait, it's a super full moon. That moon is huge and it's close to the earth, and oh, we're having tidal waves and hurricanes and all that kind of stuff is happening because the moon controls the waters. It controls our emotions. It controls how we feel, and every month there's a new moon and a full moon. We don't see that. You don't, when it's dark out, you're like, oh man, it's pitch black out. But boy, do you feel different when it's dark, right? Different energies penetrate you. You have different thoughts. You take different actions, and then when the moon is full, same thing. You're either like, man, I feel really good. I want to go for it. Or you're like, oh man, everything is just on fire around me. It's building, and then boom, I mean, so that's why you really need to know what the skies are doing. And, like I said, as above, so below, it's raining above. So is it raining down? Yeah, I'm soaking wet, right? There's just no denying it. And the more, I've gotten into, understanding, energy and water and emotions and, working with that to control it, you can every day, and have you heard of Dr. Emoto?
Yes.
Yeah, right? The water genius, right? So, how we can manipulate water. It's the truest thing. Like every day, just talking into your water, saying, I love life, I am healthy, and then drinking it, and people always, when I tell them about, how you can, work with water and, change your life so easily, they're like, what? They don't get that. Well, water holds, it changes, it's mutable, and it holds whatever you put in it. I mean, think about, so you have your coffee pot, right? It's, just plain water, but then you add your coffee to it and it changes color. It's changeable. Whatever you put in it, it changes the flavor, it changes the color, And so, right now, the energy that we're in and we're going into is Saturn in Pisces. Woo! It's all about that emotion and that feeling that you have and bringing it to Earth. Like, how cool is that? We really have a chance now to manifest our emotions and our desires and our dreams and control our own reality, for the good or for the bad, right? Because if you wake up, on the wrong side of the bed, what reality are you creating for your day, right? So every day, my mantra is not only I love life, I am healthy, whether I like it or not, because that gives me motivation. I just put that energy into me. I just put that thought into me. It's also, I am creator. I am creator. I create my life. I create my day, And then I thank you, angels, for blessing my day and guiding my way. Like all day long, I thank the angels. Oh, have you ever asked the angels for a feather?
I haven't, no. But I don't know if this might have been from an angel or another spirit, but when I was younger, I had a penny fall into the bathtub completely by myself, and just out of nowhere. I was in there for like 45 minutes, and then suddenly it just dropped from above my head.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. That's so real too. That does happen because, so if you want to, I'll tell you what, angels are always going to respond to you because you know what? Angels are connected to God. So in my angel course through Kyle Gray, have you heard of Kyle Gray? He's known as, he says, I'm your boy, Kyle Gray, and he has this accent and Irish accent, and he's so great. But he's known as the angel guy, and so that's where I got one of my certifications for angels, and then I also got my crystal healing certification through him. Really great. But anyways, I've learned a lot through him. But he said that when he was tuning into God and tuning into the angels, he's tuning into God's heartbeat. And he's like, as I'm tuning into God's heartbeat, I'm tuning into, God's thoughts. And, every time God has a thought or a feeling or somebody needs something, it goes directly to his brain that's connected to angels, and then it goes out there to the universe to serve you. So, yeah, I'm like, wow, that makes, perfect sense. And so, I can't tell you how many times I say, angels, I need a feather. You ask them for a feather, and then just forget it. Just say, bring me a feather. Show me or bring me a feather, right? And then you go out, and then all of a sudden, right next to your car door, there's a feather. And a couple months ago, actually, it was a couple months ago, and I told my husband, I said, I need a new feather for my altar. I always put a feather on my altar. And we're walking downstairs, going outside, to the hot tub, and nobody had been downstairs in a week. Nobody was home, kids are gone, everything, right? We go out to the hot tub, and then we come back in. Sitting right there on the counter was a feather.
Oh my god!
I go, oh my god, it's a feather. He just stepped around my husband and was like, oh my god, this is big stuff. And so I went and I put it by our wedding certificate, and left it there. So he knows when he sees feathers around the house, don't pick them up, don't throw them away. But yes, you can ask for feathers, or you can ask for a dime or a penny, because one is the number of, heaven and earth, the number of magicians. One connects to heaven, and or the point connects to heaven, and then down below connects to earth, right? So, angels coming to earth, ask them for a penny. If you ask them for a dime, now a dime, same thing. You got the one, but then you have the zero for creation. What do you want to create? What do you want to manifest? That egg, that purity. So, I work with that kind of energy every single day, and it brings me blessings, it brings me gifts, it brings me answers, it keeps me alive and flourishing, instead of, being in bed, laying depressed, unable to get up, or, dealing with, anxiety. And, it's been a lot harder. When I broke my bones, I was like 42. I'm 53 now. It's much harder to bounce back, And so I have to use energy every single day. this here is a Vogel, and Vogels are great. This is a fluorite Vogel, and so one end is larger than the other. This is the feminine end, and this is the masculine end. So you can use these every single day to pull out energy and release energy. Super simple from anywhere, and it channels, energy directly, from above or below. So, these kinds of things are, always in my hand. Fluorite, hands down, you need to have fluorite with you, every single day. And I work with geometric shapes all the time.
Oh, that's really interesting. What is
Yes. So this is actually a wand, and this is angelite. So this is working with the angels. And have you heard of the platonic solids?
Yeah.
So I think so.
I've heard
so
it.
much is there. I mean, it's a rabbit hole you're never coming out of. And once you dive into it, man, the magic is real. Magic is real. So these platonic solids are what the universe is made up of all 5 of these shapes. And when you learn to work with these, you can travel anywhere in the universe and get any answers, because they all stand for different elements: air, water, earth, fire, ether. Like this is fire. So if I want to travel somewhere, in the universe and get answers, and I need to go by fire, then I would use this. Okay, and then this right here is an octahedron that I use every day with my selenite stick. I surround myself with it. Let me grab my selenite stick. It's right here. I love my selenite. Stone, and this is the stone of the angels. And it's ruled by Selene, the goddess of the moon. And they say that this is, it's white, right? Like the full moon. It's pieces of the full moon that fell to earth. This is one of the first stones that I first started out with. So in our Lightwalker class, we learn, how to use the selenite, and then how to envision and surround ourselves, with the octahedron grid, and then have a call in for the crystal to light it up and purify our octahedron grid. And so I walk around all day with this light surrounding me, and nothing can get to me. I mean, it's incredible. So yeah, and and I mentioned to you how I'm going to show everybody on TV, because this is absolutely fabulous. So I always go and I just get the energy going, because it's really fun, really fun, because you can feel it, right? And then you just take it and you go, I release all the energy that is not mine, and you just trace your body, tap the floor, make sure you go under your feet, all the way around, right? Release all of your energy, then come down the front, tap, and then go down the back and tap, okay? And then I call all my energy back to me across all planes of time, all 4 corners of earth, all dimensions. I love you. I need you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for returning to me.
It's such a beautiful practice. I actually tried that the one day you told me to, and I felt so much better, so much less chaotic and staticky. I've been dealing on and off with this vacation with migraines, and I think it's just my tension releasing. And after doing that day, I definitely felt a lot better, and I called it back with, I gave it back with blessings, so I could receive more.
Yeah, wonderful.
And I definitely felt so much better, and it's something I'm going to be adding into my daily practice, especially when I get home. I probably will do it a couple times, because I'm surrounded by people all day long, and it's so important for me to kind of discard that. That's why I have to shower when I get home. I have to burn something and surround myself with it and change the vibe. I have to be in the dark. I have to be in the quiet, and kind of reset my senses.
Yes, and that's where, and that's why I've taken all of these courses, right? Because the more you start out learning the energy, the more, the more you want it. Yeah. But yeah, this is the number one, and you can actually sleep with it too. You can put it in your pillow. If it doesn't keep you awake, it can keep you awake. It's great. My husband, when I started laying out our room in crystals, and I'm like, whoa, and he's like, it's probably those crystals. I'm like, no, it's not. And then I took some out, and I'm like, oh, I slept on that. He goes, I told you.
It's the crystals are keeping you awake.
Yeah. So yeah, selenite, and actually, so another great trick is put selenite by your door. You should have selenite and yes, black tourmaline. ever worked with black tourmaline?
Yes, I have a couple little pieces.
Yeah. Oh, mandatory. This, oh gosh, this is actually, okay, so the two crystals that I really started out with was selenite. Number one was because I wanted to call in the angels. I wanted to protect my energy and get rid of negativity. This is the purest, highest vibration stone there is. You can cleanse a whole entire room with it. You don't even have to sage or anything. So this will, putting this by the door will automatically block negativity. But any black stone will always block negativity, but most especially, it's this gorgeous. Can you see the little sparkles in there? And it's so pretty. Any black stone will always block negativity. But what's so great about this is, when I was coming back to, like I said, getting better from depression, and all of that, and the anxiety, and as a Gemini, right, the voices are constant. Your head never shuts off. And that's where the anxiety comes in, because you're trying to separate what's real, what's not real, and that's where you have to go. When that starts happening, you have to go, I am creator. I create my life. And, and then it'll help you divide that out. But the black tourmaline, it is like, have you seen Doctor Strange?
No.
It's got, it's kind of cool. It's like a Marvel or something like that, but he's a superhero. And he has this black cape that he puts on. And when he puts on, he disappears, right? And he's totally protected. That is this. Man, is it a lifesaver. So, my husband and I were, having a tiff one day, of course, just happened. And I was so mad. And for some reason, he can just guys, I don't know, once they get mad, they float off and they're done, right? But my head's still swirling. We're sitting together on the couch, right? Trying to watch a show. And I'm just it's building in me. And I grab this black tourmaline, and all of a sudden, gone. The voices in my head shut off. The anger shut off, the anxiety shut off, total calm and comfort. And this protects you from negativity. It protects you from those voices that are tearing you down and making it so you cannot function, you cannot get out of bed, or where you're hearing other people's thoughts. Oh man, telepathy is a very real thing, very real. And especially, for you and I, being Geminis. Go ahead, just say something.
Yeah, that's actually something I experienced before I realized the different abilities that I was starting to develop. Back when I worked at a massage place as a reception, my friend was a therapist, and I could tell he was struggling that day. But the same day, I could feel his emotion when he was still in his room before I had even seen him all day. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna check on my friend. And he came out of his session and just kind of fell apart. And so I had to give him a hug, and we did all of the friendship chatting and stuff like that. And then we had another situation when I had a client come in. I had to literally hide myself behind my computer to kind of block her energy, because I could just feel she was going to have a mental breakdown. And she didn't look distressed on the outside. But then about 20 minutes later, she broke down in her room, and our therapist told us about it later that he had to stop the session. And I was just a wreck that day. I had to talk to my friend, and he took me to a crystal shop and got me my first black onyx bracelet and a carnelian bracelet. And I've been wearing them nonstop ever since. And now I'm slowly adding.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh my God. I love carnelian. It's one of my favorites. Yeah. In fact, let me show you. I gotta show you. This is absolutely one of my favorites. This is my carnelian flame.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Oh man, it was a gift to me, okay? Because like I said, when we get weighed down with energy, right, it's hard for us to do anything. So I made an energy grid with this, and whoosh, boy, let me tell you, I fell in love with it. But flames are great to work with. So when I work with crystals, I always work with, again, the sacred geometry, because it takes you to a whole nother level, okay? And so with your flames, they're wonderful, because you go and you take them and you put them, right at your belly button, and you twist it to send out energy. So I'm sending you energy and passion and desire, okay? And so you send out, and then what energy do you want to call back into yourself? Now, breathe in. I want to call in passion and desire from my soul family and people that I can help and love and support. That is what I want to call in, and I want to call in the energy for that. and that's it. You're done.
Oh, that's such a good
yeah,
practice.
and you can do that. And my toe is tickling right now. So, because your solar plexus is right here, right? Yeah. And then your sacral chakra is right below it. So you can do that anywhere. But this, oh man, yes. Like I said, it's my favorite. I use it all the time. And then also, something that you should definitely get. Oh man, chakra wand. Have you seen these?
Yes. Yes, I've seen them. I just don't know what I would do with them because I don't know much.
Well, you know what? You don't have to do anything with it. It does it for you. So you could just lay. Oh my God, I love to just lay with it and hold it. When I can't sleep at night, I'll grab my chakra wand because something is out of sync. It's automatically going to line you up because crystals are energy. That's how they solar power homes. Can you believe that? Solar power is from crystals, and clocks and watches. Like what? That's how powerful they are, right? So this will do it alone. And but what you're supposed to do is you would put it on like your third eye, and then again, like the flame, twist it out and then twist it back in, and then bring it to your throat chakra. And so you would just go to all of your chakras and do that, or sleep with it, hold it, or what's really great? Have you ever taken a crystal bath?
Yes, it's my favorite.
Oh man, yeah. Talk about spoiling yourself, right? Just get a chakra wand and throw it in. Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about having all the separate crystals in there or anything, right? So yeah, your chakra wand. My husband every night he's like, "Are you gonna put your stones on me?"
He likes it, me.
Yeah, my whole family is so funny. But yeah, I just love everything I do, and truly my biggest battle has been trying to decide, what do the people want? What can I do for you? My biggest gift is, I can step into you. I am a medium. I've just recently learned that through, all of my training and everything, and accepted, like, what is a medium? What does that mean? But when I read a birth chart, I step into that chart. I am your story, and it comes from a different level. I don't read like traditional astrologers. When you come to me, I read what you most need to hear at the time. I ask spirit to call, I call in all the guides and guardians, and I ask them to help me channel what you most need to hear at the time. And most people, it hits them so hard that they cry. It just but that's my gift, whether it be with working with the birth chart, or working with the moon, or working with crystals. And once I start channeling, if I'm with you for 3 or 4 hours, I'm sorry.
It's hard to stop.
I can't help it, because I feel like when you're in front of me, spirit brought you to me, period, hands down. I don't go to everybody, and if you're in front of me, it's a gift, the message you're going to hear is a gift, and I know spirit sent you to me, and so I want to give you everything I possibly can. And sometimes that will be 4 hours, but if that's what spirit says you need to know and you need to hear, and if I only book a half an hour or an hour appointment with you and I give you 4 hours, I still only get my half an hour to hour fee, because spirit said, this is the information that you need. And you are, I am a Pisces moon. So, I'm controlled by spirit, and I have to do what spirit says. And I have to gift people. That is another one of my gifts, is I just gift people services or gift people information. I need that, because as a Pisces moon, Pisces are people that, they love to give to people and give to others, and they're compassionate. And, and that's something, diving into the birth chart, I had to, find out about myself. Are we out of time?
No, I just heard my candle making sound, so I was checking on it.
Oh, I wonder what I said that made it pop. Yeah. Yeah, I love watching candle flames and diagnosing those. And do you know that fire scrying is actually the oldest scrying there is, the oldest form of divination?
I didn't know that. That's so crazy.
It makes perfect sense, right? Because, back in the olden days, what did they do with the land? They had to get warm. They lit a fire. So what do? You sit and you watch the fire. Boy. And you know what? The divination portal is actually open now. Yeah. Have you ever gone out and done nature divination during, like, the spring equinox or the, yeah. So, what was it that, Imbolc, right? We just had Imbolc, right? And so I was telling my husband about that. I'm like, yeah, now's the time, for divination. He doesn't understand,
Like, okay.
And so he's looking around and he's like, hey, that kind of looks like, an owl shape over there, or that looks like, and he's naming off all these shapes that all of a sudden he's seeing, right? And we're both seeing, but have been there the whole time, and like we've never seen them before our eyes, but we did at that time. And then I'm like, I told you the portal is open right now to be able to see that stuff, and you're seeing it. And he's like, oh man.
It's actually one of my favorite things to do. Is my boyfriend and I, if we're driving around the city, we'll keep an eye out for the clouds. I like to do cloud reading, and if I have a question in my head, I'll ask for a sign, and I'll see an image to confirm it. And when I was looking for like a finalization on Artemis approaching me, after all the many ones that I had that should have finalized it, I was like, one more, and then I saw like 20 different arrows that day in the clouds, but like very prominent ones. Like it wasn't just a wisp; it was like very arrow based.
That gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
That's so special. Oh man, so goosebumps are confirmation that spirit's here, right? Always. And that just like really touches my heart, Rhiannon, because I just want to cry right now. That's so special. Do you understand the symbolism of the arrow? It's so sacred, because the arrow is our it's our truth, and it's the God seeker, and it's God showing you the way, and shooting your arrow for the truth of flame, and trying to find spirit, and trying to find justice. So the fact that you saw all of that, spirit was right there, loving on you and telling you that, how long ago did that happen?
This was about a year ago now. I've been working with Artemis probably a little over a year and a half. Full tilt.
Yeah. And so, and how much have you grown and changed, and the spirit and the information that you've gotten since then? I mean, that is, absolutely gorgeous. And did you say you started your podcast about then? About a year and a half ago?
Yes, actually, it was just a couple months after I started working with Artemis, and I was asking her to help me with my business and like all the things. And for a while, I was thinking about dedicating my business to her, but I don't know if I want to do that or that, and also Hermes as well together. I'm still debating on that. I'm not sure if that's something she wants, but I'm weighing the options right now.
Well, what I would do is we take a look at your birth chart. And, look at the goddess for, who's the goddess for your career house. You're ruled by the moon. So your goddess is going to be Selene, hands down. Selene, or, there's always 3 names for each one. Selene or Diana. And I think Artemis is the other one, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So, it's Selene, the selenite, that kind of thing. So I would recommend, getting to know the triple goddess is what I would recommend for sure. The triple goddess in each area. So for like, your career house, and then, your first house and your 6th house, because you're a double-bodied sign, okay? So a double-bodied sign means, you're right at the access point where you can see in both worlds. You have 1 foot in the human world and 1 foot in the spiritual world all the time. And so, the more you get to know each god or goddess or angel or deity or stone in each area of your chart, in each house, then the whole picture will come together for you. So it's, really interesting that you're like, I don't know if I should just, do that just for Artemis, because something is telling me there's more. Yeah, you need to know, Selene, and you need to know Diana. And, Diana is, woo, have you seen her? She's got this great outfit. I just love Diana. Let me show you her real quick. I mean, like I said, I'm in between her and Artemis. I haven't gotten to know Artemis really very well yet, but she's so cute. So see, here's Diana. I mean, look at this hot little outfit she's got on. You know why? Because she's goddess of the hunt. She goes after what she wants, and she has to wear something like this so she can run quickly and get to it quickly, right? So, man, just there's so much information, with everything, right? And so each deity will open up, different gifts and everything. So yeah, and as far as Hermes goes, well, Hermes, yeah, you definitely want to be knowing what he's doing, because he's your ruler, he's my ruler, for Mercury. And manhood is ever the truth. Have you ever heard Mercury's a trickster?
Yes.
Oh God! I tell you what, it's the only thing that really keeps me sane sometimes, because I'm like, Mercury, you trickster. So knowing these planets and their personalities and your chart and what's going on, it makes it so much easier to deal with life, right? And accept, like why something zapped you, why something got you, or somebody did this or somebody did that, because you can go, they're on a different path, whatever. That's not my energy kind of deal, So it's just, lots of gifts and lots of blessings, tapping into spirit, tapping into your own energy, and, tapping into, crystals and the angels and, all of that. And, it's been hard. Like, this is my first time, like, coming out of the closet, right? Because, I just kind of fell into like my whole life, when I was little, I was collecting crystals, and my mom taught me to read just a deck of cards. Have you ever read a deck of cards? It is fun.
I've never read it, but I knew that there's a possibility to do. And I do have a deck of cards from my great grandma that I was thinking about utilizing for ancestral work. But I haven't learned how to do tarot enough to really convert the two.
Yeah. Oh man, I could tell people I was like 6 or 7 years old when my mom started teaching me, and I could tell people, you're going on a trip, you're going to meet this person, what color their eyes are, what color their hair is, I had people come to me all the time asking me for readings, and then I just became a natural channel. People would just come to me and ask me things, and I would just know, especially like when it comes to, and I'm curious if you have this gift too, because you're a Libra rising, and we rule over relationships and marriages, right? And I cannot tell you how many weddings I have predicted, just off the chart. Like somebody's dating somebody and they come to me and ask me a question, and I'm like, yep, you guys are getting married. And then a month later, she's like, he asked me to marry him. And then the gal that I was helping in Sydney, Australia, and I said, you're getting ready to meet somebody. And, this was like 8 months ago when I was helping her, and she got a hold of me the other day and said she met somebody and they're going to get married.
Oh,
and so,
that's beautiful.
And so that kind of stuff happens all the time. And same thing. My daughter met somebody, finally brought him home, and the first thing I said was, you guys are going to get engaged. I couldn't even believe it came out of my mouth. My daughter was like, Mom,
you spoiled it.
She was refusing to bring him home because she's like, Mom, you're going to say something. I know you are. Because like I said, stuff just comes out of my mouth, and I'm like, oh, did I say that? And then little did I know, it's a prediction, right? And so, I've been learning, like, I'm understanding now that angels, guides, they take me over. And that's why I have to know when, what the energies are doing. If it's malefic, if Mars and Saturn are involved, or Mercury's retrograde, heaven help me. So I've learned, when it's time for me to like hide out and protect my energy, because I know, like, it's not safe for me, because I know I'm channeling like crazy and something might come out that I don't want to come out. So that's the main reason I do it, is to protect myself. And then, through me, learning all of this, I've been helping people for years behind the scene, and, and they're always giving me money, right? And I have a hard time taking that, because again, I'm a Pisces moon, and I just want to love on people and give to people. It fills me with joy, and all money that I get always goes back into school. Always. I thought I was I'm like, oh, I'm just in 5 classes right now. I'm in 7 classes. And so, like, no wonder I'm feeling a little bit out of whack, right? But, couples cutting off, but then new will come. Constantly, in school. And so all money I get goes back to school so I can help serve other people, because that fills my cup, and I want to help people, not, go in a hole like I did. I mean, to go lay in bed for 5 years, and I lost 5 years of life with my family. I wasn't able to go, to my kids' games. I wasn't able to be a mom or do anything. I don't even know how that my husband held it together for us. In fact, we almost divorced, and because everything fell apart, right? You lose your money. You can't do anything for yourself. I mean, it was absolutely horrible. And the day before we were supposed to go in for a divorce, I got down on my hands and knees and I just cried and I said, angels, please help me. I know we are not supposed to divorce. I know we're not supposed to divorce. And the very next day we got together just hours before the divorce and reconciled. Yeah. And so anytime you pray to the angels, I guarantee they're going to put something in your path to help you. I guarantee it. But, you have to be open to receive, like, that old story that, hey, the town flooded and I'm on a roof and a helicopter came by and I said, no, the next one God's going to give me. Well, I'm right here.
You gotta take the signs as they come.
Yeah. And so, so I really every day work on making sure that, I have my channels open so I can hear, what Spirit wants me to do, where Spirit wants me to go, what's my next mission. And luckily I have a family that now supports that, because my husband was always antic. Why do you do that? Why do you need to know that? You don't need to know the future. Like, it was just curious, just fun. I grew up with it, and it's accurate. It works, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the more I started, getting into this, and the more he would see that it was working, the more he's like, supporting it. And then, like I said, everybody giving me money, and then people are like, you need to start a business. You need to start a business. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't really feel right taking money, so I'll start a business. So then I, start the business, and I still struggle taking money, because I started this to help people, because energy is real, and to understand it and to know how to work with it. Are you kidding me? It's invisible.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to figure out, how do you feel, what's impacting you, separate all those things out, and then figure out how to work with each one individually, and so I work with the elements every single day: air, water, earth, fire, and ether. I call them in, I call in all directions of time, and this is my visual cue every single day, is my cross. Because, the birth chart wheel is a full circle, and it's called the Wheel of Fate, and it's based on this cross: north, south, east, and west. And then, like here, here's your, your ninth house, the house of God, and your 10th house of career. And you have, 3 planets here, 3 planets here. That's 6 planets lined up. And then when we have, the spring equinox, instead of these planets, that energy being here, it turns, and now it's over here. Now what's going on in your life? What? Now it's down here. What's going on? And so this cross keeps turning, bringing these different energies from all directions. So, when you're calling your energy back to you every single day, which is so vital, Rhiannon, it's going to change everything. Keep it up with that selenite stick. Release all of your energy, and then when you call it back, envision this. I call back all my energy and envision it coming from below, above, left and right, north, south, east, and west. All of it just coming to the center, and you will actually feel it stacking up from the inside out. I mean, I would feel it like, oh, I feel it to my knees. Oh, wait, that feels up to my side. Oh, wait, I feel like it's here. What? Oh my God, I feel full. Are you kidding me? And I never want this to leave me, ever. And it's so easy for it to, right? At any point in time, any day, if something's penetrating us, something, And so that's why, I work with the crystals and always, put them in place every day. And, I would love to teach others that, and so my struggle has been, technology. And, I've been so busy learning all this esoteric stuff that, to take time to learn to do, the fun stuff, like little videos on, Instagram, all that stuff. Oh my God. My
client do that.
Help me when I do how to do this, they do this for me, And so, that's been my struggle. But also, what do people want? I would love to hear from everybody. What can I do for you? How can I help you? What do you want me to teach? Where do you want me to go moving forward? Because I can do whatever you want, and make a difference. I know I can, because it's the only way that I'm moving now. is through willpower. I'm constantly battling every day, waking up, do I feel good today? Don't I feel good today? Why? And weight, oh my God, the roller coaster oil, because, we're empaths. So we take, all that emotion on. And so, do you know the planets for weight? So Jupiter, like, oh man, have I played this game? Okay, I'll test these planets, right? I'll go, no, I don't think that's how that works. I'm going to test it. So Jupiter, if he's in your sixth house of health, you will gain weight. Because Jupiter expands, right? It expands things. And so when it's in your house of health or the first house, you'll gain weight. But Saturn is entering Pisces. So wherever Saturn or wherever Pisces is at your chart, and Saturn is the planet of loss. Saturn is in the sixth house for me in Pisces of health. So weight loss for the next 2.5 years. And you too, because we have the same chart, right? You're Libra rising as well. So Saturn is March 7th, coming right up. Get ready, girl.
Perfect. I know. It's so funny you say that, actually, because I was using partly this vacation I had on for content creation, but also reconnecting to my path and getting workings done and reformulating my physical health. So actually I'm going to be doing a candle spell, calling on the archetype of Xena for the warrior energy instead of Aries, because I resonate with the female energy. I do kind of work with the pop culture pantheon sometimes, and that's going to be my signal. When I light the candle, I go down into my workout room, and it's going to be a mantle in my workout space, and it burns while I work out. And I'm also creating a mental room within my mindset. So I open the door, walk into that room of energy that I've gridded, and I'm in that space because I get so distractible, or I get bored with something, and I step into that energy, because otherwise I'll find myself sitting there just staring at the roof for 20 minutes, and then I stop doing what I'm doing and I get hungry or something and I walk off. So I'll be doing that and creating a petition to that deity, and I'm really excited about that one, and I'm planning my workouts right now and kind of getting like my lifestyle reset.
That's exactly where you're at for the next 2.5 years. But also the beautiful thing is this house, the sixth house, is the most karmic house on the chart. It's the health and healing access for body, mind, and spirit. So get ready for your gifts and talents to really open up, and for so many karmic rewards and blessings to come to you. Like, it's your time. When Saturn hits Pisces, he's gone all the way around the chart. He's worked every area of your chart, and Pisces is the last stop. And it's all about karmic rewards and karmic timing. So I'm really excited for you and to see what's going to come to you, because, no matter what we do, it all works. It all works. Just simply, saying, what you want, praying, lighting a candle, no matter who you call in, it's going to work in divine timing, right? Because sometimes we have to go through the roller coaster ride to get there, because we have life lessons to learn. We've all got life lessons to learn.
I think that's something that really started coming in a lot lately. I had a couple health problems come up the last few months, and it just kept stacking on it. I'm only 33 years old. I shouldn't have this many health problems. I'm only 5'1", but I'm way past the healthy weight for what my doctor would recommend, and I am on my medication, which does contribute to that maintaining at its point where it's at. And but then I have my carpal tunnel issues, which got diagnosed recently, and I have a sciatic thing on my left leg, and then my back sometimes spasms out because I think it's the weight's too much for me. And I had to pair spirituality with the culmination of those realizations of what's happening in reality, and go, okay, I need to make this so important that it's spiritually important, that I'm not going to be able to reach the past spirituality that I want to, if I'm not going to continue to take care of my physical body. And I have been trying, and it's not something that I've always struggled with. I know I have certain disorders and such, and it's so important for me to just like refocus on those things. So it's so funny because you did mention in that brief reading that we did that one time, certain health aspects that I needed to watch out for, and things about my feet and all of that stuff. And it definitely rings true to me because I'm seeing all these things line up, and as I'm focusing on them, they're getting better. Like I've been doing the cleansing and the healing and all of that. I've been doing gua sha on my feet with I have a amethyst gua sha for my face. I'll just wash it and I use it on my feet, and I feel so much better that way. And my feet don't hurt anymore, and I'm just really taking care of my physical health along with my spiritual health, and it's making a huge difference.
Yeah, it really is an all-in-one picture. And, most especially for, double-bodied signs, like us, where we have, one foot in both worlds, I mean, we have no choice. We have to go the full gamut, taking care of ourselves. And it's a job, it's a task. It's, we have to work 10 times harder than everybody else does. But you know what? When we do, we rise up above to be our best self, and then we can help others like nobody else can, and that's why every day I keep going, because I just want to help people, because everybody needs it. The world has changed so much, and so many people are so lost. And, my heart every day goes out to people, especially, with these prices. And, I think, how are people feeding their families?
Yeah.
And so, you can change that. You can make a difference. And you can all of a sudden, instead of going, we're broke, we can't feed our family, you can go, money's unlimited. It comes to me from seen and unseen sources. I mean, you really can reverse your situation, just by changing your energy. And these tools that are available, it's so easy. Nature, my land, working with, the essential oils and the herbs, it opens up a whole nother world. I mean, it is so healing. And so there are ways that we can fix these situations and we can feel better. But, we think our body is, so what, my feet hurt. So what, my back's sore. That's a sign there's something spiritually going on. I guarantee it. As soon as you fix your spirit, you'll fix your feet. You'll fix your weight. I mean, it's, and people think, like my daughter, she's like, oh, I just had to go and buy some shoes for work and they cost so much. And, it's been 3 years I've had these. I'm like, what? You've had your shoes for 3 years? Are you kidding me? People don't realize, our feet are the most important. In other countries, feet, when somebody comes in the house, they take off their shoes, they wash and dry their feet, and they bow. Why? Because your feet take you everywhere. And when you don't have them, what happens? Exactly what happened to me. I broke my feet 4 times. I have learned to value my feet, right? So, I told my daughter, I'm like, your feet are telling you something. You should be getting new shoes every 3 months, 6 months at the minimum. And when you start really going, instead of saying, oh, shoes are too much, I'm not going to get them. Well, you're wearing and tearing on your energy, because you're walking every day, you're wearing and tearing that energy down until you're going to hit a wall. But as soon as you start respecting your feet and noticing that they're out of balance and paying attention to what I've been doing, what I've been thinking, where am I giving my time and energy away, it changes everything.
It makes so much sense. Like, because I did, I stepped into this new role as a shipper receiver at my job, so I receive all our grocery freight. But at the time, I didn't have proper shoes. I just had my Converse, and they usually were fine because I had like a squishy mat to stand on at the cash register. But now that I'm on cement all the time, and I'm going like walking on like wood panels and possibly stepping on nails and stuff like that, I needed something more protective and supporting for my feet, especially because my ankles. It's okay. It's all good. Especially because my ankles are really bad. Ever since I was little, even if you ask my grandmother, we were at camping once and I literally fell like 8 times standing. I would just stand, and I fell like 8 times in front of her because my ankles were so bad. And that was like when I was young. So I ended up changing my insoles just because I couldn't afford the shoes at the time. Changed my insoles, and it changed so much just because I wasn't putting out so much physical energy. Spiritually, I did feel better in my mental health and everything, because I was just wearing on my body so much, and I just kept pushing it off and pushing it off. So when I got insoles to support my feet, I had so much more energy, and I was more positive throughout the day. And that can speak to just physicality in itself, but I felt more energized to be able to like work in my practice and be able to pick something up after work and get something into my spirituality instead of waiting until the weekend.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, you know, your feet support your whole entire body frame, and we neglect it. You know, and so, and something I've really been working on too, you know, for good karma is if you massage your partner's feet. So, you know, the funny thing is I've kind of always been an anti-feet person, because I just kind of had this foot fetish thing with my, you know, when I was younger, my mom would be like, massage my feet, and she'd let me massage her feet. I was like, so I've always been anti-feet, you know, but since I've learned, you know, the value, you know, and all of that, and so, you know, I start massaging, you know, my husband's feet and everything. Man, it changes everything when you start taking care of another person's feet. You know, you're respecting their spirit, and it'll be a whole nother level. It's actually soothing and healing. And now I'm like, anytime, you know, if you know, we hardly ever fight anymore. We've been married 30 years. We've worked everything out, right? You know, but sometimes just the energy, I'm like, oh, Mars and Venus are together. Watch out.
Gotta like.
But anyways, I'm like, give me your feet. Let me massage your feet, you know, or put stones on them or something like that. So you know, try that. You know, just try every day making your feet a priority, and you know, see how that changes things. You know, or your partner's feet a priority, and it's just really interesting. And then, you know, I mentioned to you before about you know, the smoky quartz, and you know, smoky quartz, for other people who didn't hear my little talk, smoky quartz, you know, protects us and removes any negative energy from us. And so every night, if you put this at your feet, it will pull out that negative energy. Oh man, it'll completely change how you feel when you wake up. And it's a protective stone too, because it's dark, right? So it pulls out that darkness and that negativity from within. But it is important that you know, you clean it every day, or run it underwater, or blow on it or something, because it's dark, it's collecting negative energy, so it will pool in there, and then it'll feel like really heavy, and it won't work as efficiently. I mean, they will always work, but you know, the most important thing, whatever crystal you're using, always cleanse it before you use it, always. So yeah, smoky quartz is a must-have. Like every night, have that with you.
Yeah, I've been holding it since you mentioned it, and it definitely made me feel a little more relaxed, because I get these spurts of anxiety even with my medication, and this is my new thing. I think I'm going to be holding it when I do filming, because yesterday I filmed 2 videos for like backlogging, and I felt like I was rushing through everything so much. I did script things out, and I don't know what it was, but usually I can just sit and talk, but I don't know if it's just trying to read exactly what I wrote or mention everything and not forget it, but like I got so anxious and I kept speeding through everything. So I hope it doesn't translate on the video, but I think this is going to help. So I'm going to.
That's funny, you know, that's how well, and that's part of, you know, our gift, right? Gemini and, you know, Mercury, you know, Mercury's so fast, it goes around the sun like that. That's, you know, why he controls the energy here on Earth, and, you know, our cars, you know, driving back and forth, and the internet. And so we definitely have that ability or gift within us, to where we're like, you know, we're spinning. So yeah, definitely, you know, the this yes. So do you have any bracelets? You know, I'm always wearing my crystal bracelets.
Yeah, I want to restring my carnelian one because it broke just because of the type of string it was used. It wasn't a plastic. But I got this rose quartz and white agate from my mother-in-law for Christmas, so I always wear this one. And then I picked up a new black onyx, but it has lava stones for aromatherapy. Because my other one broke as well.
Yeah, lava stones are great. Yeah, well, those are great. I've totally lost count on all they have. But yeah, smoky quartz is something you want every day, or garnet. Garnet's really good for grounding you as well. And then you always want clear quartz on you, always, because it aligns you to, the matrix, the crystalline matrix that's out there. And it brings you clarity. It clears things up for you. But what's so important when you have clear quartz is no negativity, because it's clear, right? So it collects whatever you're thinking. So if you're thinking negativity, guess what you're packing on you? Yeah. So
I also find it's an amplifier. So I don't know why, but I correlate it with the moon for some reason. So I have like a point in my oil for Artemis.
Yeah.
And I've used this for so many things. So I infused this. I'm probably going to filter it out later once I open this and then use it for working or gridding or something. But I've been letting that sit there for a couple of weeks because I just find it important
I absolutely love making my own oils.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, right?
I have so many actually.
Yeah. I never thought I could do it because I'm always buying all the, oils and stuff like that. But then when I started trying it, I was like, wow, oh my God, this is stronger than, buying this stuff. And so now I'm in this year-long course called Roots and Spears. And so it's working with herbs and the planetary cycles and what planets are in charge at the time. Like we just had Saturn and Venus together, and so the herb for them was Damiana, and the herb right now is lemongrass, and so it's really interesting to learn these herbs and work with them and understand. Wow, thank you, God, because instead of taking medicine, like I don't take anything now, right? And I'll tell you, I definitely have days that I'm off, and my family knows. They're like, Mom, you're not functioning well right now. Oh, I can't. Let me go find my herbs. Mercury, it's either Mercury retrograde or an eclipse, right? Oh, but yeah. Anyways, the courses, really help me with being able to, know when to use, the proper herb, and like, right now, everybody should be using lemongrass right now. Everybody, because we are coming up on the full moon in Virgo. Are you kidding me? I love Virgo energy. I have two planets in the house of Virgo, right? Virgo is the perfectionist. They are the detail person. They are the health guru and meticulous about everything, detailed and organized. So of the same token, since that's the full moon that we're going into, it can push you over the edge, right? Because you're like, everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be detailed. And then you beat yourself up because I still need to do this, or I still need to do that. And so you get so in your head because Mercury is ruled by, or Virgo, is ruled by Mercury, right? And then Mercury is a planet of, taking things apart and putting it back together to master it, right? And where Virgo likes to master everything. Whoa, sometimes you can't even get out of the house because you're so busy mastering things, right? You're stuck in that world. So that's the downfall. Like, actually, I relate to that, man. Yes. And so that's why, it's really important to know what moon phase you're in, what the energy is, what's going on, so you can work with it and go, okay, I'm not going to get stuck in, this mental, beating myself up, man. This energy is, detailed, get organized. I'm going for it. I am creator. Yes, I'm going to clean it. I'm going to feel good. So yeah, and so that's what is so great about knowing the energies and working with that. And but the lemongrass right now, or lemon balm, or lemon vervain, whatever you call it, is really important to start on and take it more towards the afternoon and the evening time, because it does allow you to relax. But what it does is it works on you from the inside out, and it brings sunshine into you, and it works on all of your chakras, and it removes that negativity, and it keeps you positive, which is so important right now, because again, this moon phase that we are in just days away, it's on the 7th, get ready, ready because it's getting bigger and bigger. So all of the things that you have been building up and wanting to do are coming to a head for you to make decisions on. You know, what are you going to take actions? You know, where are you going to go? And then on top of all this, we have Saturn, the same day as the full moon going into Pisces. That same day. That's a lot of energy, a lot, because Saturn is the taskmaster, and he asks you to take care of your tasks here on Earth. What are you dreaming? What do you want? Let's do it. Let's make it happen. But you know what? You got to work hard. You got to get up. You got to take care of your physical body. You know, you got to take care of the things around you. You have to do your earthly mundane chores for the next 2.5 years. 2.5 years. Okay. So you want to stay positive.
Yes.
Saturn's hard work, right? But he's also, you know, he's a planet of divine timing and karmic rewards. And when you work hard, oh my goodness, the blessings are more than you could ever ask for. But man, he's also the planet of depression. So you're being asked to work really hard, and you're going to get really tired, and you're going to get depressed. So how are you going to combat that? Knowing that you're trying to make your dreams come true because Spirit asked you to do it. Because you're in Pisces. It's all about what Spirit wants. How are you going to make this happen? Well, you got to find a way. You know, and that's where you bring in the crystals, you know, and then that's where you bring in your herbs. And so the lemon balm, you know, like keep drinking it through this month, because it, you know, some herbs will, like, you know, immediately you're like, yeah, so good, right? It's called plant medicine, right? Damiana is great for relaxing you, right? In fact, I'm so grateful for that because, you know, the whole female thing and hormones, right? You know, I've been working with those and they have not been working right for me. I've been having terrible side effects. Well, the Damiana, I don't have to take certain hormones anymore because the Damiana will now take that over for me and help control my hormones. Like, that's so exciting, right? Yeah. But you want to build up, you know, build up that energy and build up, you know, from the inside out. So you're radiating abundance on the inside, even though you might not feel it or you have a lot going on, because eventually what's inside is going to come outside. And then these energies that are now building up, they don't matter because you're creator. You can go do what you want, right? Yeah. You know, you're walking in spirit and in love and light all the time. And when you bring in the herbs, you know, the oils, the plant medicine, the crystals, everything that nature has to offer that God brought to us, you're not going to lose, you know, and your gifts get stronger and better, and just an open channel for the divine. It's beautiful. And that portal is open now. You know, I mean, we're going into the biggest portal ever, you know, because we got some full moon coming up on the 7th, and then we got Saturn going into Pisces for 2.5, 3 years, and then Pluto, our soul. Pluto is our soul and what we came here to do and how we came, how we want to evolve, right? Where we're going. And so they say that all of us that are here now to see Pluto changing signs, that we asked for this. We decided we wanted to come here and be part of this evolutionary growth. Oh my God, there's goosebumps again. They're all over me. You know, Pluto changing signs, March 20th, the end of March, we'll never see it again, ever. It takes him 284 years to go around the sky. Now, how many generations is that before, right, they'll see it again? Are you kidding me? Wow, my kids won't see it. My grandkids won't see it. Maybe my great-grandkids will. I don't know. You know, so the things that are up and coming, like, you know, you and I, you know, what we're doing now, these, you know, we're here to lead the way and help other people understand, you know, themselves at a soul level and how to heal the hurt and the trauma that the physical world has brought to our lives that really, you know, we brought to ourselves, because it all comes back to having to take a look at yourself and what you're doing with yourself and how you're interacting with spirit, because it's there. The energy's there all the time, you know, and
So what would you suggest for someone who is wanting to work with that energy around this time? It's such an opportunity to be able to interact with something that we'll never see again. So if somebody wants to do a ritual or some type of healing for themselves, what would you suggest they look at?
Well, the first thing you want to do, of course, is you want to take a look at your birth chart because you want to know where Pluto's at. What does that mean for you? Like Pluto is for me is in my 12th house. That's the house of the subconscious. So that means that my subconscious is always going to be having a life, death, rebirth moment. I'm going to discover something and then I'm going to be reborn. And always. And it's also the 12th house is the house of spirit, interacting with spirit all the time, being a spirit guide, right? So I know that my Pluto, like I am here to do God's work. I'm here to work with the spirit world, period. There's just no denying that. And it's taken me my whole life to figure that out, from the time, I was a child and sleepwalking. My parents would find me miles away, getting ready to go into a pool at the middle of nighttime. And I'd wake up just right before I get ready to dive in, 2 a.m, crying, oh, where am I? I'm at a pool. What? I was going to go swimming. Oh my God. And I remember tiptoeing out of the house to get there. That spirit taking my body over. And as you know, you got, oh my God, you got frostburn from it, right?
Yeah.
Your story, you were playing out in the snow and sleepwalking and making snowballs and didn't even know it.
Yep.
It's dangerous. And so we need to know that, these gifts are real and we do have these gifts and how to work with them. And so you need to know where Pluto's at in your chart. And then that will tell you, what you came here to do, what your gifts and talents are, and, how you're growing and evolving. And I tell you what, no matter what, you'll naturally be led down that path. Your soul knows, hey, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in that, and it will happen. And so this is the awakening of the gifts. And like I said, right now we're in that portal. So as the wheel is turning, the earth, the tectonic plates are opening up for spirit to come in and for that information to come in. And so knowing where Pluto's at in your chart is going to be, the number one thing. And, I might, let me know if people want me to do a Pluto special, I'll do it. I just finished a 5-hour seminar on it.
Oh my God.
Woo! So I got the info. So that's the first thing, that I would, take a look at. And then, as far as the ritual goes, you can, any time a prayer is always going to work, always, please, help me find somebody that is going to help me find the answers to, my health and my healing. Lighting a candle under a new full moon, is always going to help. But first of all, knowing your birth chart, understanding that, are you a double bodied sign or are you not? Are you air, water, earth, fire? You're air, and so when you're air, you've got messages, coming to you all the time, and then your gift is pulling those messages out of the air and manifesting. A master manifester. You're a master manifester. I'm a master manifester. But you don't know that until you really start paying attention to it. And then you're like, wait, that worked. I said that and what? It came to me, right? And then you start, figuring these things out. So knowing your chart is number one. And then, the spring equinox is coming up. And so I'm actually going to be doing an event for that I'll be talking about, what does the spring equinox mean for you spiritually? How does it happen? What does it mean for the earth? And then an oracle card reading, and then a simple ritual. I'll show you what to do, simple, easy things. And, working with, the sacred symbolism is going to change everything for you, so I'll do that, so that'll get you started on, what you want to create, what your soul wants to create, where you're going and understanding how to access that energy. And then, I'm starting a moon circle, the 5th, I think, is my first one. Yes, for the full moon in Virgo. So I will tell you, at that one that, how to start working with this energy, opening up. So from now on, I'm going to have every new moon and every full moon, I'm going to have an event. And I'm just charging $15. That's all. Because, I'm doing it for the love of the people and, to give back. In fact, I probably, once I get, everything straightened out with my website redone, I'm just going to automatically start doing like a 10% donation to charity. Every 10% goes to charity automatically, and then I'll be adjusting things. But for now, I'm just going to keep everything, affordable for people so I can, help people, because like I said, that's what fills my cup, and I love it. And all my money goes back for education. So, so I'll get that out, and then so that will help them, start to learn, how to work with this because it's up and coming, and how to feel this energy. Like, why are you feeling this way? Heavy or weighed down because right now these planets are at 29 degrees, and when a planet is at 29 degrees, it's burning up, it's dead, it's I can't function anymore kind of deal because it's getting ready to be reborn. And so that's where everybody's at. So knowing these energies that are coming, there's going to be a lot of events I'm doing because I'm, trying to make sure that everybody's getting the most they can right now, because when that portal's open, you want to grab it, right?
Yeah.
You really want to grab it and you want to put your energy into it so you quantum leap because then it'll pop up at the next portal and the next portal. I just keep throwing rituals in there because I want good karma to come back. I don't want to be in bed anymore. I don't want to be depressed. I want to be happy, and I want to know what spirit wants me to do. And so then the other thing, tapping into your ancestors by far is going to be key. About a year ago was when actually a year and a half ago, when I first started working with ancestors, and I'm not close with my family, anything like that. My parents are passed away. I don't know anything about my family. So I'm like, what's all this talk about the ancestors, right? Why? Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? It's the best thing ever. And so I'm going to actually be, I'm thinking, I'm thinking the 22nd, right during spring equinox, is to do an ancestor ritual with the altar, the works, making your own oil, what crystal you need, all of that. So I'll put that together because when you work with your ancestors, when these portals are open during, any equinox or solstice, the portal is open for other worlds, period. And so the ancestors are not just, your bloodline ancestors, they're your land ancestors, territorial, archetypal, the angels, all of that realm, it's all there, and they'll tap you into a whole nother world. So, that's what I would really suggest is, attend these events I'm going to have. Because once you start going and once you experience that energy and start understanding it, at a different level, and you see that it's there and these gifts come to you, you just can't stop. You can't unsee it, And the other thing I'm going to also do is I'm going to start doing a sacred stone circle. And I might do that twice a month. Like I said, I'm one person trying to figure it all out. But the stone circle would be, every month we'll grab a crystal, like the first time I'm going to start out, it's just clear quartz. And I'll teach you, how to tap into it, how to use your energy for it, and what it does, and, how to work with it, and how to meet that spirit within it, how to get a name out of it, that kind of thing. So, that's really the best thing, because Pluto, hands down, Pluto's our soul. What we came here to do and how we came to evolve. So you have to work with soul energy. You have to. How do you work with soul energy? Well, that's why people go to church. Yeah. Like, do you have the answer for me, Pastor? No, I don't. And then you're trying everybody else. Nobody has the answer. We all have to find it, through source. And I found, we've done the whole church thing, and that's just a whole nother story, right? And I just found by, doing the rituals, and following the timing of the earth, it's all you need. It's all you need, because God loves you. The angels love you. They all love you, and they're here for you. And as soon as you call out for them, they will answer your prayers. They will send you somebody. They will send you something, give you some information. But again, you have to be open to it. You have to say, I'm open to receive. And it's that simple too. Like at this full moon, for people that want to work with a Pluto and, they're not sure what to do, just say, I'm open to receive, universe. I am open, because you have to tell the universe you're open. And then it'll start flooding in from there. And like I said, then you have to be willing to accept the help.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
what would your advice be for anyone interested in looking into working with angels? For myself, I come from like a Protestant background, and I'm very removed from even those practices. And I found myself into paganism, and now I'm more of like a neo-pagan. But I do still feel like I have that connection there. I do want to share like a little story, because I feel like they were reaching, and I hope that that's what it is. But there was a time where I was working at my job at a beauty place, and I was getting ready to close up, and I think I was just like probably at the lowest I had been. I was not medicated and I was not functioning well, and I thought this job that I was going to be doing was like going to be it, because I wanted to do makeup. I wanted to be a makeup artist, and I was so excited. I tried for a year to get into this job, and I finally got it. And it ended up being like a babysitting job and having to watch the other side of like the drug mart, and then try to sell this beauty product, and you're by yourself until 12 and all this stuff. And then I had this man come in, because our doors were the entrance to the store, and I just got this undeniable vibe of like Archangel Michael.
Yeah.
And he was so tall, like, and it's not like
I got
he was an
goosebumps.
average
It's real.
person, but he was so tall,
Yes.
and it just seemed like a different entity, because they didn't seem like human. They had human attributes, but like the way that they would carry himself and speak, and he basically talked to me for almost an hour and just giving me all this information, but he just come wandering off the street. And then he went down the aisle to like walk out, and I went to go find him again. I could not find him, and our store didn't have an exit. Like our entry and exit was the same door.
Man, oh God, I just was like, so okay, angels are real. They are very real. There have actually been studies of humans that are angels and sightings and all of that. I mean, there have been studies on it. So, that is a very real thing. And you have planets, you have 3 planets, in the house of God, the house of the oracle, and this is the house of angels as well. So you are definitely going to have that, but that's very real. I have had many, many people tell me I'm an earth angel, because I will go up to people and I will just channel messages and walk away just like that. And I won't even remember it, like I said, they'll come back and they'll tell me things, or something. And my husband will be like, why did you just go up to that person and start talking to them like that? Or the kids will be like, Mom, I can't believe you just, it just happened, because I have, 2 planets there's 2 houses of angels, the 9th house and the 12th house. So I have 2 there, and then I have 3 in the house of angels and spirits and the astral realm and traveling. So I know angels are real, and, there was an aspect coming up that was a trine in the chart, when things light up like, right? And there's this huge astrological event coming up, and it was fated karmic event. And I was like, just watching, like, okay, what's going to happen? Because every time this stuff happens, like I get a gift, right? And something wakes up in me, I discover a new ability. And I'm so tired because the energy is so high. And in fact, it was an eclipse. Oh man, have you found during eclipses, like for 3 weeks, you'll be like, woo, you can't sleep, or just, oh man, because it's such big energy. Your life, because you're a double-bodied sign at an eclipse, everything's changing, everything. You are growing and evolving and becoming somebody you never even knew you could be, right? And so I was completely exhausted. I'm driving on the highway, 70 miles an hour, and I fell asleep at the wheel. And dead asleep. And then all of a sudden I heard, wake up. And I wake up and I'm going right for the guardrail. And I heard, not today. And then I heard, stop, brake, turn, stop, brake, turn, stop. Oh my God, there was a cop car right behind me. And I mean, it was just like immediate turns, and I stopped and I got out of the car and and the officer's going, a lady down the road just died 10 minutes ago from the very same thing. I cannot believe you're alive. And I said, it was the angels. The angels told me what to do. And oh my God, and I'm telling you, they have saved my life more. Yeah, you guys do too, right?
Yeah.
They're real. And the more I work with them, the more I cannot work with them. I rely on them. And, and so that's why I know I was absolute no doubt that when I ask them for something, they physically enter my body and take me to where I need to go next. My husband's seen it. My kids have seen it, and I've not recognized it because I just automatically do it. But now that I'm so in tune with my energy and what's going on, I'm like, oh, I just did that. They just did that, you know? So yeah, keep working with them. Keep calling them in. Do you know that we have angels that every single day we have one in front of us, one to the right, one to the left, one behind us, one above us, and one below us all day long. We are walking
Didn't know that.
Yeah. There's Archangel Uriel, Gabriel, and Michael. Archangel Gabriel, you got my back. I got you. Archangel Uriel, you got my future. Yeah, I got your future. You know, they're surrounding you. You know, and that's why I call in, you know, every single day. I call my guides and guardians in from all directions of time. You know, I want them all. You know, so yeah, your angels, they're there, and they're just waiting. They're waiting for you to ask for them, because, you know, again, we have free will. You have to invite them in. You know, somebody knocks on your door, you open the door. Oh, come in, or stay out, go away, right?
Yeah.
Angels are outside your door waiting, Rhiannon. Stop. You know, angels, I invite you in. Come love on me. Come bless my day and guide my way.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it takes every day. Like I said, first thing before I even hit the floor, thank you, angels, for your gifts and blessings today, because I want them in my life every day, and they will answer. They have to. They're connected to God. You know, and God wants to give us what we want. But the thing is, you know, we don't know how to ask. You know, and we don't know it's real until we start actually doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and then the game changes. The game changes, because once you step into that world, now you need to make things right.
Right.
You know, you can't be going and being a bad person, you know, and you can't be not treating the gods right either, you know, taking advantage of them kind of deal. So, yeah, but basically, you know, in a nutshell, you know, I spend my day every way, you know, trying to tap into the gods, and, you know, trying to help people and change their lives, you know, for the better, and constantly learning and growing. And now I'm ready to help the public, and, you know, and I want to thank you so much for what you do, because you have made it possible for me to come on and come out to the world. You know, because these gifts are not easy to live with. People don't understand them. I mean, we all have them. We are all made from God, you know, all of us. And so we all are able to create, but the way we tap into them are different. You know, we're all different. And, you know, I've not ever been able to speak to anybody about it, because they don't understand. They'll hear me channel. They'll see me go off, and they'll be like, whoa, how'd you know that? How did you do that? You know, it's my gift. And but to explain it to people, then they're like, oh, you're a witch. Well, you know what? That one took me a long time to figure out, because I was like, I'm not a witch, you know, because you hear all these bad things, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Shame on people for, you know, not really knowing the truth, because you know what? If you are a witch, you're a healer.
Yeah.
You're a healer. Witches are healers. They're trying to heal their own energy, and they're trying to help other people and share that energy with other people. And then people are like, hey, you're a witch. You know, I mean, these are just words. You know, you have to accept the fact that, you know, things have names, you know, like the occult. You know, and my husband's like, you're doing the occult. Well, what is the occult? All it is it's hidden information. That's it. Hidden information. I want to know the hidden information. Heck yeah, because those are the secrets to spirit.
Yes.
And that's what we're here to do, is to connect to spirit, you know. And yeah, it's so being a witch is a healer, and a mystic, a witch, you know, whatever. I don't know. I just know that I have these gifts and abilities, and it's been difficult for me to come out. I don't, you know, on my website or my page or whatever, I've done a few lives, but then I don't know. I have a hard time. So I threw into the fire. One full ceremony actually was, I threw into the fire being camera shy. And so I knew something was coming. I'm like, oh my God, I just threw that in there. Oh, what are you going to give me?
Here we go.
And you know what? But Spirit prepared me for it, and Spirit prepared you for it. You know, this is what we're here to do. We're here to spread the word of the angels and the guides and the guardians and spirit, and it's real, and we are spirit, and we have spirit in us, and we can access that at any time. And these tools, you know, they're all around us. You know, this has pyrite and aventurine in it. Isn't it beautiful? And yeah, I love it. It makes
so pretty.
Yeah, I'm not got it everywhere. And then this one has ruby and emerald in it. So this is called the Queen's Wand. But yeah. So just using a simple tool like this will completely change your day and completely change your energy. Learning how to use these things, and then understanding that when the moon comes around, it really is affecting your energy. And learning to work with that. And that's what they did back in the beginning of time. The ancients is what they call them. Their job was to watch the skies, to watch the earth, and to take care of the land. And the women, their job was to heal their family, to heal their spouse. Come home from work, I'm injured. How are you going to heal me? You have to go out into nature and you have to find the herbs that are going to work. And then, but it only is lit up when the moon is full, right? So then you do it under the full moon and you find out it worked. So that is our gift as women, is to work with the moon and to work with the herbs and to work with timing. We're supposed to. And all of that, it's really kind of beautiful to see. It's coming around, it's happening. I see, I got my certification in the moon, like, oh my gosh, probably 5 years ago or more. And, and now we're seeing more and more people do moon ceremonies. But when I started doing it, people were like, what? That's weird, right? Probably like same thing. You come in on there, our, spiritual, is this real? Like, it's our mind, our curiosity. We just have to know, right? And there's a reason. You have to know, because it's there.
That's actually something I've been so called to do, and I've been wanting to do, like, one of those things as a service once I do launch a website. Is I do want to have a circle of some kind to do even just once a month, just because I enjoy the community aspect, and that's been the driving force for myself, is creating some type of community. I live in Alberta, like, this is the Texas of Canada, and it's very difficult to find people here where you don't feel like you're endangering yourself, unless you're online. So all of my friendships are online for the majority of my spiritual friendships. I have like 2 other friends that are kind of into it that are here, and it's really important for me to be able to, like, do that. And it's something I've been wanting to do. I've been trying to, like, develop a small course on the side of it, and of course have 8 other projects at the same time, but I eventually would love to do that.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because that was another thing that, I was actually thinking about doing was, a monthly circle for like, an hour and a half or, something like that. So, but then I was like, well, the Sacred Stone circle kind of, I don't know. Let me wrap my head around that. And, I would love to do something like that. I would absolutely love to bring a community of people together where we can just love on one another and tell each other, you are normal. This is normal. This is healthy, and it's good. And it's where we're supposed to be going. It is, because for the planet of our soul to be changing signs after 284 years, what do you think that means?
Yeah.
That means our soul is changing. We are growing. We are evolving. And it's going into Aquarius, the sign of the community, of, being a humanitarian and taking care of the community and coming together as a community. And also the sign of aliens. And so, yeah, isn't it interesting? Have you heard about the alien sightings, the Super Bowl as part of the night? Yeah. See? Yeah. And so, how can they not be around? How can they not? Right? We're discovering new things all the time, and all these hidden worlds within worlds, and the galactic center and stuff like that. So yeah, you're going to be seeing more stuff like that. But you know what that means for us? When that portal is open for the higher mind, that means we have access to the spirit world easily. Easily. So it's going to be very easy for people to be able to tap into this energy now and understand it and not be blocked by it. Because depending upon what sign you are and where the planets are, oh yes, you could definitely be like, la 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 la, but now it's wide open. It's wide open. And so it'll be really interesting to see, where people are going, where things are going. And like I said, you and I are here to help, lead that way. And it has been the hardest journey of my life, because it took me falling to nothing and rebuilding myself back up with spirit and energy. And now that's all I am. And that's all I want to do every day is just do what Spirit wants me to do.
I feel the same way. It's something like leading up to the vacation I'm on now, it resonated with me when you said that it was like you're like at your breaking point and you're like the planets are done because they're at 29 degrees. That's how I felt. I was like, I cannot do anymore. I literally broke down to my boyfriend right around that time, right before, like a week before my vacation. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I had my anxiety attack. I had to get my medications adjusted, and now they're finally working properly. And I was like, I'm finished. I can't. And he's like, well, we need to work, but let's just get your medical stuff figured out. And I felt like I couldn't take that time for myself because he wasn't working. He was getting his certification in lifeguarding, and he's finally working now and is fully employed. And it's just like I'm able to take that breath now, and it's so important for me to like really focus in on that now. But it's so crazy when you start like looking at the things that line up and aligning it to what's happening in your life, and you're like, that's about the time that was happening to me. It's kind of unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's what's so cool about the birth chart, you know, is you can go back and forward it. I mean, you can completely put everybody's, you know, story together, you know, so easily. And so that's why, you know, like I said, it's so important to know, hey, you were born during, you know, this solar eclipse window. So during this time, like, take a vacation, hide out, you know. Oh man, yeah. That's really interesting, you know, that, you know, here we are, you know, going into, you know, talking about your medication, and we're going into Pisces, and we're, you know, you're struggling. So did you know, Pisces actually rules over drugs and pharmaceutical and any sort of medicine you take? You know why?
Right.
It's very, very interesting because Pisces is not supposed to be on medicine. They rule over it because they are energetically and emotionally ruled. So they are supposed to, they are their own medicine. Spirit is their medicine. And so they rule over it because they don't need it. They're not supposed to take it. So it's really interesting. And here, so it'll be interesting to see where things end up going for you, you know, as you continue to, you know, work hard, because it's hard work working on our energy for the next 2.5, 3 years. You know, you're in the sign of Pisces, you know, which is, you know, all about, you know, spirit and healing everything, you know, energetically. And then Saturn's coming in there saying, you know, I'm going to make this real for you, but you're going to have to work for it. So, you know, maybe that medicine can completely disappear for you because you'll learn how to, you know, like it did for me, you know. I mean, you do have to accept that, you know, hey, you know, I'm bipolar, you know, and I have to accept that and, you know, recognize when I'm behaving like that, right? Yeah. So, you know, I did a deep dive into the bipolar because I was like, when I was told, you know, and I had my breakdown and everything and got depressed, they're like, you know, you're bipolar. I'm like, what? You know, so mad, right? Well, when I started diving into things, it was so interesting because actually bipolar means you can see in another world. Because bi is 2, Gemini is 2, twins, right? And then polar is polarized, the opposite. So we're always doing opposite actions of what we should do, you know, or thinking opposite than other people. So it makes us bipolar because we can see opposition. We can see and sense in other worlds. And so once you know that and you accept it and go, okay, yeah, that's who I am, then you can understand when you're having a bipolar moment. Okay, I'm in another world right now. Everybody else is calm and cool, and I'm not. That sort of energy is getting me. So, you know, and like I said, my husband's in awe over it because he watched me go through, you know, all of the medicine and watched me be a zombie and then watched me get off of it. And, you know, and like I said, right now it's just the female hormones, which I'm going off of because now I've got nature and I know what to do, you know, what I need. So it'd be really interesting to, you have some amazing gifts. I mean, Jupiter is God. He's right next to your sun. So you are always getting messages from the universe, always, you know, and you're always safe and protected. But because your planets are so close to the sun, you know, what happens when we're out in the sun? You can't look at it for very long. It burns you, right? You know, you can't have to have sunscreen on. It burns you. So your planets are right next to the sun. So your energy is like being burned up all the time. You get messages and burn up. You know, that's hard. And so that's why, the human mind will be stuck on something, because the bigger mind, Jupiter, God, is going, yes, do this, that, and oh man, it's just, so if you know that, you can work with it, and really good things can come of it. But yeah, it's, and of course the doctors have no clue, you can't talk to them about it. So again, it's just really great that you're here and we can, talk about this openly, because there just really isn't any place else that you can.
Well, exactly. And that's why I think it's so important when you're able to find someone who has different modalities, but also aids in like the current medical situations as well. Because I do use it alongside everything else, and I probably will always do that. And it's different for everyone. Some people don't need it and some people do. But I think it's really important, because I just found a psychologist who is into spirituality and can
Nice.
understand things that I'm saying without thinking I'm in some type of psychosis, and being able to recognize if I do have psychosis, on top of just me speaking in metaphor. So it really helps in that way, and it also they understand in spirit experiences, especially because I'm going through traumas with certain things that has happened with my knowings, and then having something happen and someone pass, because I ended up having to have a conversation with them with trauma response because of my mother's passing. And I basically had predicted it before our last time when we had dinner together, and I just had a thought, I'm not going to see her again. We hugged and said goodbye. I always thought those were like intrusive thoughts, but those kind of thoughts were never my own voice, and it always came with a sense of calm instead of anxiety. So it was a difference between understanding I'm getting messages and do something about it, or it's something where it's like an intrusive thought where it's linked to anxiety. So it's been really helpful to talk to someone about that, who understands how to treat me medically, but also knows how to treat me spiritually as well.
Yeah, right. That's it. Like, when they put me on medicine, they just drown you out with medicine, and you're lost. Your soul's lost. Everything's lost. And so I wasn't able to find anybody like that. In fact, it got much worse instead of it getting better. And so that's why I had to go the road on my own. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that I'm healthy and my family's happy and healthy, and we're still together, 30 years of marriage, and, hallelujah, thank you, Lord, and everything is finally right and good in my life. But man, it has been the hardest journey ever. And, I often say, I don't want to come back and do it again. That hard. Oh, but yeah, I'm just ready to help other people. And, after everything that everybody has gone through with the pandemic, and, what they're still going through, it's, even worse now, with the economy, like, I can help you, lift yourself up, pick yourself back up by, just stepping into your birth chart and, showing you, where you're at, where you can grow, what you can change, and letting you see, feel, and experience spirit.
It's such a beautiful gift, definitely.
Thank you. It can be a lot at times, for sure. It can definitely take me out, but I can't get rid of it. All I can do is work with it. And when Spirit first had me, on this journey of learning astrology and everything, I cannot tell you how many times I cried. I don't want to do this. And they just kept saying, you have to be there for other people. And so my whole journey has been about other people, and which has healed me in return. So I am healed when I help other people. If I am not helping somebody, I'm sick. I don't feel right if I'm not helping somebody. And my husband used to always say to me, because like I said, my whole life I'll just go up to people and start channeling and tell them something. Yeah, it embarrasses my family. And my husband said to me, he goes, honey, not everybody you meet you have to help. And I was like, what
do you mean?
Yes, you do, because that is how I look at everybody. If you're in front of me, God put you there. There's something I can help you with. How can I help you? What can I do? And so I shut that part of myself down for a while because I was like, oh, well, maybe he's right. Maybe I just need to focus on me, and then life won't be so dramatic and there won't be so much trauma, because when you're helping other people all the time, you're neglecting yourself. And, and that does happen. I was doing a live and doing a reading, and all of a sudden our fire alarm went off. And I'm like, that's weird. Our fire alarm's went off. I go, oh, my family's home. Somebody will get it, right? And it's louder and louder and louder. Nobody's, checking it. We have a big house, so everybody's kind of everywhere in the house. And I'm like, I go, I better check that. Hang on. And I ran out there and I ran to my bedroom and I go, fire! Yeah. And so then I was like, I took care of that, and then I went back and I finished my life, and I just kept, it burnt down my dresser in my bedroom and my clothes and all of that, right? Well, I was having such a good time. Like, I was on a roll helping people, doing lives on Facebook and interacting with people, and I was having fun. I'm like, I'll forget that. So I just, I didn't deal with my clothes or anything like that. Well, next thing I know, I got no underwear.
Oh, no.
I can't find my underwear, my socks, and I'm going nuts though because all I'm doing is helping people. But I feel great because I love helping people, right? And my daughter was like, "Mom, you've got to find your underwear."
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical.
Because Mom is a basic pyramid of what we have to do to take care of ourselves, right? And so I was like, okay, what's going on? Spirit has got to be sending me a message, because when things happen to me like this, to where my life is malefic, right? I can't find my underwear, I can't find my socks, right? All of a sudden everything's in chaos. That double body sign, right? Stability, chaos, right? And it was an eclipse, right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a look at my chart, and then I was like, oh man, no wonder. Okay, I get it. Spirit was trying to tell me to take a break. Yeah. And if I don't take a break, they're taking me down and making me take a break. And that has happened to me multiple times because I will not take a break for myself, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I looked at my chart, the moon and the planets were in the 12th house. When you're in the 12th house, it's the end of the road. You are supposed to sleep. It's the house of sleep, and it's the house of interacting with spirit, and it's the house of restoring your energy so you can be reborn after everything that you've learned going around the chart. I think the mailman just came. You're supposed to be reborn. Let me close the door.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyways, that's when I completely went off the internet, for a couple of months, and I was like, I'm going to make things right and get my life right, and then be reborn. And so it's just really interesting to know when you're supposed to take a break, that Spirit is trying to give that to you and tell you that.
Yeah, it's so important. I did actually have a question, because this came up with me yesterday. I don't even know why it came up, because it happened so long ago, but I've been trying to ask anyone who does mediumship that I know of what they interpret with it, because I'm not very versed in it at the moment. But when I was younger, as I was starting to experience these strange things with knowings or seeing things or sensing things in the room, when I would go to bed, I would shut my eyes and I would see all these flashes of imagery, and most of the time they were very unsettling. A lot of times it had like outlining in red. So I could see an outline, but then I could also see a face, like I would see you and I, or textures or shapes or whatever. And I still get that now, but it's more so less disturbing. But they're more subdued, because I have grid in my like bedroom and stuff like that for my mantle. But I just don't know if that's something what that would have been, because I can't seem to figure it out. And I know back then when I was starting to get those downloads and stuff, I blocked it all out. I was so scared about it.
Right?
Still see them.
Yeah, and that's what, basically led me into mediumship, right? Because I was having stuff like that happen to me. And so it's like, it's scarier than crap, learning about, ghosts and mediumship like that. It's like, what, why is this happening? But, you have no choice. You have to learn about it because it's happening to you. So you have to, face your fears so you can, what do I do about this, right? And oh my God, the greatest trick in the world is, a bell, or when, ghosts are like, have you ever had things break in your house? Like just crazy things just start breaking. You can just ring a bell and say, stop, leave, and they'll leave, or just stop and leave, and they'll be gone. So at any point in time, the free will, the command, if you tell them to leave, they have to leave. They have to leave. Because you can choose whether you want to interact with them or not. Now, when you're seeing actual bodies with outlines in them, it is somebody coming to you that needs to be healed. Generally, you're seeing some sort of injury that they have and that you need to heal. Where you have, on your chart and in your house of, home and family, you have a stellium of planets there, and one of them Saturn. That's going to be, past life energy coming to you hands down, and dealing with past life energy and past life karma. So that's, automatically going to be the mediumship, at home and family. And then you also, I remember you had Uranus there, the planet of messages from other worlds. Yeah, that's the higher mind. So that's automatic, they're coming to you and giving you messages. And I think you had Neptune there as well. Neptune is all spirit. See, so a stellium of planets. Okay, so 3, like your Uranus is at 3 degrees. So 3 is, Uranus is the higher mind, the aliens, right? And it's also your higher self. So when you have a number 3 there, that's automatic messages and gifts from heaven. It's just coming to you. You're not going to stop it, right? And then Uranus, so that 11, that is that's self mastery. That means that Neptune is all spirit, all watery, all emotion. So at the core of your chart, the base of your chart, you've got the higher mind, and you've got all spirit, okay, and then you've got Saturn, which rules the occult, it rules the underworld, rules magic. So there's no way you're not going to have spirits visiting you. There's just no way. And so that's where making sure that you have some sort of protective stone, when you're sleeping, either your black tourmaline, or your selenite. Nothing negative is ever going to come through with the selenite. Even amethyst is a very protective stone. It's going to help you in your dreams. So you can choose, who you want to interact with. And when I go to sleep, I always, angels, thank you for protecting me while I sleep. Because when we go to sleep, that's when we astral travel, and we, you can control where you go or what you're doing if you're aware, and you believe. But you also have, at the top of your chart, you're ruled by the moon. So yeah, that's all water, all emotions, all spirit. So, you are constantly interacting with spirit. And then, you've got Mars, right there. And so where you're talking about that red outline, was that the god of war coming to you, talking to you, telling you about your passions and your desire, and, where you want to move forward? Are you going to have a change of direction in, what you're doing, in your ambitions and your goals? So that's definitely, what that was about. That was the first thing I heard was, that was Mars, about your desires and ambitions. And then, what's so beautiful, I mean, what a blessing to have Venus in your house of career, where you're going to be supported by, women, and, being nurtured and loved and protected. You are so protected. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful to see this. When you have, Mars and there with Moon, and that is somebody that you are led by your emotions, and you know where you want to go, what your will is, what your desire is, what your passion is, and nobody's going to stop it, because you've got a hold of it like it's your life. Yeah. It is your life. It is everything for you. And then Venus is there supporting that, the goddess of love and abundance. So, you've got a beautiful chart, that is, the energy is, I mean, oh my God, I got goosebumps everywhere. I mean, it's just, you're so loaded. I mean, that's why you need medicine, right? Because, oh my God, you got 3 planets here, 3 planets here, and 3 planets here, and that energy goes, and so you've got this kundalini rising, throughout you all the time, depending upon, where these planets are hitting, and especially when they're at the access point, that cross, any time they're at that cross and getting ready to cross that line, you're suspended, you're like floating in another world. And so, yeah, the grounding, every day, your smoky quartz is going to, be an asset for you. And you can ask your stones to hold that frequency for you for the next 24 consecutive hours, starting now. And not even have your stone on you. It's really magical, the things you can do. And another thing that I do is, I love working with solfeggio sounds and frequencies and stuff. And so this is a grounding tuning fork right here. And it just has a mallet. You probably can't, I don't know if you can hear it. It's pretty low, but it's a grounding one. But anyways, you can just, bring it over your head, or you can actually stick it in a glass of water and it'll put the frequency in the water and drink it. So grounding forks are wonderful. They work wonders at any point in time. But yeah, because you and I are, constantly in the spirit world, grounding is the biggest thing for us to be able to function normal.
Agreed.
Right? Yeah.
So with those spirits that are coming to be healed, is that something that you would suggest is doable, or do you feel like that would open up a floodgate of more?
The floodgate is definitely open. because it's who you are, right? It's your gift. So the spirits are automatically attracted to you. Automatically. Yeah. Your sunshine is in the house of God and the house of the oracle and the house of, other realms. It's going to come to you. You're just going to have to learn how to deal with that. Mm-hmm. And, know when those spirits are, malefic or not malefic. And so that would be, knowing the dimensions, like, the 3D is, the human world. And then the 4D is where when you pass away, you go into the 4D, the world in between worlds. And then the 5D is the higher realm. So you can ask, you can say, I want to go into the 5th realm. I don't want to go into the 4th realm. I want to skip it. So you can choose, and like I said, or tell them to go away, or, ask them when they come, what do you need? And the way that you know how to tell when, is it just me? Am I making this up? Am I talking to myself? Mm-hmm. So if you hear an answer, then contradict that answer. And then if it comes back, repeating the answer, it's correct. Like an example, if I said, Spirit, are you here? And then I hear a yes. And then I say, no, you're not. And then it goes, yes, I am. I mean, they will talk back to you like that. Then yes, I'm connected. This is real.
Okay, so chills. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So because it's so easy to second guess yourself. And as soon as you start second guessing yourself, you've lost it. Yeah. You're not going to connect. So always, playing that little game back and forth, but, and just choose to believe, start believing. And then once you start believing, you'll see the difference. And, and then write down when those events are happening to you, because then we can, I'd be happy to go back and trace them along in your chart. That would be really fun. Yes, that happened because this is here or that's here. I mean, it shows everywhere. But, I always, when I say, angels, I need a feather, or I need my pen, when I said, where's my pen? I wrote that down. I asked the angels for a pen, they gave me one, because when you start acknowledging them, it's like giving them a gift, right? Because nobody talks to them.
Right.
We all ignore them because we think they're not here, and we're talking, I'm going to talk to you, but I'm not going to talk to you, Gabriel. I'm not going to talk to you, Uriel. What? So they're grateful. And when you write down, like, I asked this and they gave me this, then they're like, I'm going to give you more. And before you know it, you've got a whole journal full of stuff. And that's how I started proving it to my friends and my family what was going on. I'm like, I wished for this. I asked for this. And I'm like, no, look, here it is in writing. And they're like, oh my God, and so they don't question anymore. When I say I have to do a ritual, or, I'm with somebody or whatever, like, okay, they know. Mm-hmm. Because they have seen me go from depressed and in bed to now healthy and thriving. And they see the messages and texts that come through from other people that I've helped. So Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to helping you more and, giving you more answers, because you've got some really serious energy in your chart and some great gifts and some beautiful spirits following you around. I love it.
Thank
Absolutely gorgeous.
you.
Yeah, it really is gorgeous, but it is, it's a hard gift to deal with, right?
Mhm.
You know it's there. Other people don't know it's there. They don't understand it. When you come up to them and then you start telling them things, and it kind of freaks people out.
Freaks people out, or I'm always trying to fix things and
Yeah.
decide how to, like, I'm literally always taking it apart in my brain and going, oh, that's a problem. Okay, here's 4 different ways from Sunday to fix it. Just pick one.
Yeah.
And they're like, you
Yeah.
don't know anything. I'm like, but if you try one, I think we'll be fine.
And that, you know what, that is the challenge of Gemini, because, Gemini always has choices, always. And, that is my biggest challenge. That's been my biggest challenge with my business. I'm like, I have so many things I can do and want to do, but what do the people want,
Mhm.
And that's where, I'm so grateful because, with Saturn moving into Pisces now, for you and I, for people who, are dreamers and walk with spirit all the time and have a hard time, grounding those choices and making those decisions, we can do it now. For the next 2.5, 3 years, we have the ability to bring spirit into this world and make it real and make our manifestations real, because we have, Pisces is water energy, again, all spirit, and Saturn is earth energy. So now, water is our emotions, and then Saturn is earth. We can take our emotions and bring them to earth. So it's really going to be fabulous, but it's going to require, a lot of work for us, because we live differently, because we live with spirit. Our emotions, what we do on a daily basis is very different. Spirit said do this, spirit said do that. It's not a daily, like, are you able to make a list and check it off? Or do you go off, you're just, that list doesn't, it's hard for us because there's just so much energy all the time going on. So, like, our lives are really going to get better, and these really great things are going to come to us, because we're here, to work with spirit, and we are working with spirit. And so now spirit's going to give us back our rewards.
Yeah, it's really exciting because that's something for me that's been very difficult. Like, I love a list, but I go overboard. I have a list of lists of lists of lists, and I'll go through them, but it helps keep me focused, but I do veer off. And it drives me nuts if I can't check them all off in one day, but I at least
Yeah.
know that I'm not going to forget it and think about it 6 months down the line because I have it on a list. But I do go off and do 3 other things at once, and I thought
Yep.
boyfriend's ADHD was bad, but when it's both of us together, he has ADHD, and then myself, I'm all air and channeling constantly, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know how to, like, rule us around, so I kind of just let him do his thing when we're cleaning and all that stuff. He'll ping pong, and then I'll focus as long as I can, and then I'll fixate on something else, but I'm always fixating and then leaving it and fixating.
Yes. Yeah. And that's because you're ruled by Mercury, and he is the mechanic, take things apart, put it back together and figure out how, it works out. So we're always fixing something, and it's exhausting, right? But hey, it gets us to the next level.
Yeah, exactly.
And so yeah, and that's why every day we have to say, thank you, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. You know what? This was really hard work, but I'm so grateful I learned it and I made it through it. But yeah, we're asked to do the hardest work of all, because, like I said, we're floating around with spirit, and then we have to figure out how to ground that. And that's why I'm so thankful. My husband is earth energy, because if it weren't for him, I would be like what you're saying. I could just imagine that whole scene. Oh my gosh, especially during an eclipse. I can just imagine you guys are probably just like fried.
Oh, get this. No one believes me when I say this, though. So my boyfriend and I are both Geminis. We're exactly 1 day apart, the same exact age. So my birthday is the 12th of June and his is the 13th. So we're exactly 33 years old. So I'll have mine and then he'll have his. But his son is also Gemini, and I share a birthday with him.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So what's his moon and his rising?
I'm not sure. I have to find out like the birth time for that, but like I know he's a Gemini and he has bad ADHD like his father.
Yeah, send
So
me his information and I'll look at his chart for you. That would be really fun to
yeah.
check that out and see
But
what's going
it's
on.
fun
But
too because we're always playful too. Like I find Geminis are very playful and need play to be able to like function in the world. So it's a very fun household, maybe a little chaotic, but um yeah,
yeah, it
it's
is
a lot.
fun, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything's always new and exciting, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The child quality in Gemini, but yeah, I can definitely, I can only imagine. Well, that's again, that's why we learn this stuff. How to put this in place every day, and the tourmaline and stuff like that, so we don't end up being out of whack. So I'll figure out how to put a course. My problem has been putting a course together is trying not to feel inadequate because so many people have, they have a platform that you can, it's all set up electronically, easy. You can watch a replay, da, da, da. I don't know how to do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it costs money to do that. And I've already spent way beyond. I would love to hear from people, what they would, more of what they'd like to see me talk about, or do, or offer, or how I can improve things for them. I'm always open for feedback. Always.
Amazing. All right. So if you guys have any questions, definitely let her know in the comments down below if you're watching the live feedback, or if you are on the podcast version, you can always leave a comment in the review section. Don't forget to leave a review so I know if you enjoyed the podcast. And we'll be back probably in the future with so many more because I have so many other questions and so many other topics I want to dive into. So thank you so much for giving me your time today. You've definitely given me so much more to think about. I'm actually thinking I'm going to be grabbing one of my books and starting some angel research this afternoon. So I'm
fun. Yeah, you'll love working with them. Well, thank you so much again for having me and putting yourself out there in the public. Thank you, Rhiannon. Seriously, thank you. It's a gift to so many of us, and you don't even know how many people you've really helped and reached, and keep up the great work. And I know it takes a lot of energy, and I'm really proud of you. I really, really am.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. Thank you.